So here I have concluded the differences for you. So distance is actual, according to its definition, distance is actual path covered from initial to final position. Whereas displacement is the shortest distance covered from initial to final position. So whatever be the shortest distance between initial and final position, that will be called displacement. So reference point is not required for distance. In case of distance, we do not require reference point. Whereas in case of displacement, we require the reference point, because for a particular point, for a particular reference point only we can measure displacement. Otherwise it will become distance. So distance is always positive, whereas displacement can be positive or negative. It can be zero also. Distance is always be greater than equals to displacement, whereas displacement will always be lesser than equals to distance. It is vice versa. Distance for a particular object depends on the path, whereas displacement of a particular object depends only on its initial and final point. Whatever be the initial and final point, it depends only on that. Displacement depends only on initial and final point, whereas distance depends on path. So these are the differences we have discussed in this video. So let us discuss this in-text question which is available on page number 100 of this NCERT textbook. So question number first is, I'll show you. Question number first. An object has moved through a distance. Can it have zero displacement? Yes, of course it can have zero displacement. We have discussed the example. Suppose a object is, this is a circular garden, and an object starts, taking rounds of it from this point, right? So it starts from this point, moving towards this direction. So it will cover this whole path and comes back to this position again, right? So for this, in this case, displacement will be zero, whereas distance will be equal to its circumference, right? So this is the case where displacement will be zero. This is only an example. There can be many examples for it. So second question is, a farmer moves along the boundary of a square side of 10 meter in 40 seconds. So suppose there is a square, a garden, square garden is there of side 10 meter, right? So a farmer starts moving around it. So in 40 seconds it covers the whole path, right? So in 40 seconds it covers, distance is equal to 4 multiplied by 10, because the perimeter of this square path will be 4 into side. 4 into 10 is 40 meter. So obviously 40 meter is covered in, so in 40 seconds it covers 40 meters. So in 1 second it will cover how many meters? 40 upon 40, which is 1 meter. So in 1 second it will cover 1 meter. So it is given that in 2 minutes 20 seconds. So in 2 minutes 20 seconds, or we can say 2 into 60, in 1 minute 60 seconds are there. So 2 into 60 plus 20, or we can say 120 plus 20, 140 seconds. So in 140 seconds it covers 112 140, which is 140 meter, right? So in 2 minutes 20 seconds it covers 140 meter. That means how many rounds? So in one round it covers 40 meters. So how many rounds? Number of rounds is equal to 140 total distance upon distance covered in one round is 40, which is 7 by 2, or we can say 3.5 rounds. Now there are two cases. We have to find out displacement. So there are two cases. Case 1. Suppose the object starts from one corner, right? So 1 round, 2 round, 3 round, and 3.5 round he will reach here. The farmer will reach here, right? So this is 10 meter, this is 10 meter. Since it is a square, so this will be 90 degree. So using Pythagoras theorem, displacement will be this diagonal. So displacement will be equal to square root of p square plus b square, or we can say square root of 10 square plus 10 square, or we can say square root of 100 plus 100, or we can say 200 square root, or this will be 10 root 2 or 14.1 meter. Root 2 value is 1.41 multiplied 10 is 14.1 meter. This is first case. For this displacement will be 14.1 meter. Now case 2. Case 1 was if the farmer starts from one corner. If farmer begins from a corner. If farmer begins from midpoint of any side. So if he begins from midpoint of any side, then displacement will be, let's suppose he begins from this point. So 1 round, 2 round, 3 round, and for 3.5 round he will reach here. So displacement will be shortest distance. Shortest distance is 10 meter. So in this case the displacement will be 10 meter. So these are the two answers depending on the initial position from where it begins, right? So third question, which of the following is true for displacement? So it cannot be 0. Displacement obviously cannot be 0. Which of the following is true for displacement? It cannot be 0. Displacement can be 0 also. Distance cannot be 0. So it is false. The first part is false, as displacement can be 0 also. Its magnitude is greater than the distance traveled by the object. Obviously not. Displacement will always be lesser than or equals to distance. It can never be greater than distance. So this is also false. So thank you all. In this video we will discuss this only. In the next video we will be discussing uniform motion, non-uniform motion, acceleration, average speed. These all things we will discuss in the next video. So be in touch. Hope to see you again. Bye bye.